Imagine sitting at your kitchen table drinking your morning coffee when suddenly the newspaper in your hands becomes a blurry mess. You try to call out to your spouse, but they left for their doctor's appointment an hour ago. The room starts tilting like you're on a boat, and when you try to stand, your left leg feels like it's made of concrete. Your mind is playing tricks on you, insisting this is just fatigue, but deep in your brain, a catastrophic event is unfolding that will determine whether you ever read another book, drive another mile, or recognize your own reflection. What you do in the next 3 minutes will decide whether you maintain your independence or spend the rest of your life dependent on others. Stay with me. I'm about to hand you the 5-step survival plan that can save your brain and your life when a stroke strikes and you're completely alone. If you think you'd immediately recognize a stroke or know exactly what to do, you're not alone, but you might be dangerously overconfident. Most people believe strokes announce themselves with obvious warning signs like you see in movies. The reality is far more subtle and infinitely more dangerous. Studies from the American Stroke Association show that nearly 40% of stroke patients initially dismiss their symptoms as simple tiredness, stress, or just getting older. This deadly hesitation costs brain tissue that can never be recovered. If you or anyone you love spends part of the day alone, please tap that like button right now. This information could literally save a life and help you stay independent for years to come. Type Brain Saver in the comments if you're ready to learn the 5-step survival plan that neurologists use to outsmart stroke when help seems impossibly far away. Here's what most people don't understand about strokes. They're silent attackers that work against you in ways you'd never expect. A stroke doesn't just attack your body, it attacks your judgment, your ability to think clearly, and your capacity to recognize danger. Research from Johns Hopkins Medical Center reveals that stroke patients often experience something called anosognosia, a neurological condition where the brain literally cannot recognize its own dysfunction. In other words, your brain tricks you into thinking everything is fine when it's actually in serious trouble. This creates a dangerous paradox that makes strokes uniquely terrifying. The very organ you need to assess the emergency is the same organ being damaged by the emergency. You might feel confused, but your compromised brain tells you that confusion is normal. You might notice weakness, but your damaged judgment convinces you it's just fatigue from a busy day or poor sleep. This is why waiting to see how you feel can be fatal. When your brain is under attack, it loses the very ability to assess that attack accurately. The solution isn't relying on how you feel or what seems reasonable in the moment. The solution is having a mechanical checklist that works even when your thinking is impaired, a step-by-step process that doesn't depend on judgment calls or subjective feelings. The first step is recognizing the attack before your compromised brain talks you out of taking action. Stand carefully if you can do so safely. If you have mobility challenges, you can perform this test sitting down. Grab your phone, open the selfie camera, and run what doctors call the BEFAST drill. This is a life-saving protocol developed by the American Heart Association. Balance comes first in this critical assessment. Is the room spinning around you? Do your feet feel unsteady when you try to walk? Even slight unsteadiness counts as a positive sign. Don't dismiss dizziness as getting up too quickly or low blood pressure. In the context of stroke symptoms, balance problems can indicate that your brain's coordination centers are being damaged by reduced blood flow. Eyes are next in the evaluation sequence. Has your vision suddenly blurred, doubled, or gone dark on one side? This isn't gradual vision loss from aging or eye strain from reading. This is immediate dramatic visual changes that appear without explanation. Look around the room carefully. Can you see clearly in all directions, or are there areas of darkness or distortion that weren't there an hour ago? Face assessment requires looking at yourself in that selfie camera with complete honesty. Try to smile as wide as you can, showing your teeth. Does one corner of your mouth refuse to cooperate? Does part of your face feel numb or tingly? Facial drooping can be subtle at first, appearing as just a slight asymmetry, but it's one of the most reliable early signs according to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke. Arms testing involves raising both arms straight up above your head and holding them there for 5 slow seconds. If you have shoulder problems or arthritis, just lift them as high as you comfortably can without causing pain. Does one arm drift downward despite your best efforts to keep it elevated? Does one arm feel weak, heavy, or completely unresponsive to your mental commands? Arm weakness often appears before other symptoms become obvious, making this test crucial for early detection. Speech evaluation means saying out loud, "The sky is bright and blue today." Are your words slurred or garbled? Can you form the words clearly? Time documentation is critical. Look at the nearest clock and burn that exact time into your memory. Write it down if possible. This timestamp determines which treatments are available at the hospital. Here's the critical part. One single warning sign is enough to assume stroke and take immediate action. One abnormal result from the BEFAST test requires emergency response. Medical research shows that every minute of delay allows approximately 1.9 million brain cells to die unnecessarily. The second step is summoning professional help immediately. Here are 3 ways to call for help. Choose whichever feels easiest. First, grab your phone, press 911, switch to speaker mode, and announce clearly, possible stroke. Face drooping and arm weakness started at. Give them that exact time. I am alone at state your complete address. My door is unlocking now. Leave that line open no matter what happens next. Modern emergency dispatchers receive special training to work with stroke patients whose speech deteriorates during the call. They can track your location through your phone's GPS system. If your fingers won't cooperate, press the power button 5 times rapidly. This is a built-in emergency feature that automatically calls for help. If you have an Alexa or similar device nearby, call out, "Hey Siri, call emergency services," or "Alexa, I need help." Here's something that could save your life. Skip aspirin for now until a scan confirms it's safe. Nearly 40% of strokes involve bleeding in the brain rather than blood clots, according to the Centers for Disease Control. Taking aspirin during a hemorrhagic stroke can turn a manageable brain bleed into a catastrophic flood. A study in the New England Journal of Medicine found that inappropriate aspirin use during stroke increased mortality by 23%. Your job is to get professional scanning equipment involved, not to guess at treatment. If you found this information helpful so far, please tap that like button to help others find it. In just 30 seconds, I'll show you the door light trick that saves more brain cells than any pill. This simple preparation technique cuts emergency response time by up to 5 minutes, preserving millions of neurons. The third step is making entry simple for the paramedics racing toward you. Every second you save them is brain tissue preserved. Research shows these preparations can shave 3 to 5 minutes off response time, unlock your front door immediately, or trigger your smart lock's emergency access code. Don't assume you'll be able to get to the door when they arrive. Your symptoms may worsen rapidly. Turn on your porch light and any hallway lights, even during daylight hours. This helps emergency responders identify the correct entrance quickly. If you can walk safely, position yourself within direct sight of that main entrance. Take 30 seconds for these preparations if you can do them safely. Secure any pets behind a closed door. Remove throw rugs or obstacles from the path. Turn off any cooking appliances, candles, or fire hazards if you can reach them safely. Step 4 focuses on protecting your body while help travels to you. If weakness spreads or dizziness intensifies, Don't fight these symptoms. If you're able to move safely, ease yourself to the floor and roll onto your side. This recovery position protects your airway and prevents choking. If you can manage it safely, bend your upper knee forward for stability. Let your lower arm cushion your head naturally. Angle your chin slightly downward to keep your airway clear. Use whatever's within reach to elevate your head about the height of a paperback book. Control your breathing deliberately. Inhale slowly for 4 counts, then exhale for 6 counts. This prevents hyperventilation and conserves oxygen for your brain. Resist any urge to eat or drink anything, even water. Stroke can compromise your swallowing reflex without you realizing it. If you're able, loosen any tight clothing to ensure unrestricted blood circulation. Stay with me because step 5 is the 60-second fridge prep that can shave half an hour off hospital delays. This preparation trick can be the difference between getting life-saving treatment in time or missing the critical window. The 5th step could dramatically change your treatment outcome. Medical professionals need precise timing and symptom progression to choose the most effective intervention. If you're able to operate your phone, open the voice recorder and document your symptoms. Right arm numbness getting worse, vision foggy on left side, started at 8:44 this morning. My medications include lisinopril 10 milligrams daily. I have not taken aspirin. Continue narrating whenever symptoms change. Include any medications you've taken in 24 hours, especially blood thinners or blood pressure medications. Mention any allergies and chronic conditions like diabetes or heart disease. Long before an emergency occurs, prepare what emergency professionals call a brain bag. Create a clear plastic envelope and tape it to your refrigerator door. Inside, place photocopies of your identification, current medication list with dosages, documented allergies, and a note reading, "Transport to the nearest certified stroke center." Research from the American College of Emergency Physicians shows this can accelerate treatment decisions by 20 to 30 minutes. This preparation can mean the difference between disability and full recovery. Let me walk you through a complete scenario. You're reading when your vision suddenly blurs. Immediately run BEFAST. You notice your smile is crooked and your right arm feels weak. Call 911 on speaker. Possible stroke. Face drooping and arm weakness started at 7:45 a.m. I'm alone at 123 Main Street. Door unlocking now. Unlock your door, turn on lights, position yourself near the entrance. If symptoms worsen, assume the recovery position and record your observations. Research from the American Heart Association shows that clot-dissolving medication works best within 4.5 hours, but newer technology can work up to 24 hours. The largest factor determining your outcome is how quickly you start this survival chain. Practice these steps for 3 minutes every Sunday morning with your family. Run through BEFAST, practice your emergency call script, and rehearse preparing your home. This creates muscle memory that functions even when stroke impairs your thinking. While knowing how to respond to stroke symptoms is crucial for protecting your independence and potentially saving your life, prevention remains your most powerful tool against stroke. Think of stroke prevention as building a fortress around your brain with multiple layers of protection that work together to keep you safe. Work with your healthcare provider to manage blood pressure consistently, as this is perhaps the single most important factor in stroke prevention. Even borderline high readings significantly increase stroke risk, according to current medical guidelines. Monitor cholesterol levels regularly and maintain stable blood sugar through proper diet and exercise. Stay physically active with activities appropriate for your fitness level, as regular movement keeps your blood vessels flexible and your circulation strong. Limit alcohol consumption, eliminate smoking completely, and maintain social connections, which research shows actually reduces stress hormones that can damage blood vessels. These evidence-based strategies can reduce stroke risk by up to 80%, according to the National Institute of Health. Strokes are medical emergencies, not mysteries. The difference between recovery and disability comes down to your actions in the first crucial minutes. You now have the knowledge to recognize symptoms accurately, summon help quickly, and protect yourself until professionals arrive. If a single strategy could save your brain function or someone else's life, type yes in the comments. Subscribe with notifications enabled for emergency preparedness content that could matter when seconds count. Share this with your adult children, grandchildren, neighbors, or friends who spend time alone. Your recommendation might save their life or help them stay independent longer. Stay prepared, stay informed, and keep living the vibrant, independent life you deserve. This information is educational and should never replace personalized medical advice from qualified healthcare professionals.